Today on Investigate TV Plus, when minutes matter, maternity care is miles away.
We are northbound on 169 highway.
And expectant mothers are forced to drive dangerous distances to deliver.
Get the baby now! Catch him! Catch him!
How one family's extraordinary birth story highlights a gap in rural healthcare that impacts millions of families nationwide.
Then redefining the American dream beyond U.S. borders.
We found freedom, healing, and belonging here.
Thousands of Americans are choosing to call other countries home. We take an in-depth look at what's driving them to relocate and the potential drawbacks to living overseas.
Plus, setting sail without sight.
Okay, I hear them, but I can't tell where they are.
How blind sailors brave the open water and chart a new course for inclusion.
Off your starboard bow by like 5 degrees.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Millions of women in the U.S. lack quick access to a critical part of healthcare, and it can have deadly consequences. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. These families live in what's known as maternity deserts, and it's a growing concern as more labor and delivery units close nationwide. In most urban areas, the travel time to a hospital with delivery services is under 20 minutes. But for rural parts of the country, the travel time is often 40 minutes or more. And some mothers have to drive hours, fearing they might deliver in the car. It's a nightmare that became a reality for one Kansas family as they could not make it to the closest delivery unit in time.
Reporter Angie Riccono takes an in-depth look at how their roadside miracle highlights a need for reliable maternity care.
You can learn a lot about a community from its local paper. On March 6, 2024, the headline for the Miami County Republic read, "I just delivered my baby." The sheriff posted about the roadside birth on Facebook too.
I just delivered my baby.
And from there, the story just grew.
Everyone's like, yeah, congratulations, congratulations, but it was a scary situation.
We were terrified.
It's hard to understand what it was like in a car alone in the dark until you listen to the 911 call.
So we are northbound on 169 highway. Sir?
Labor began at 3 in the morning.
We have to go like now.
I have no idea what you said, sir. I'm sorry. Okay, that's all right.
Danielle and Riley raced to Olathe Medical Center more than 30 miles away.
We can get there. We can get there.
They passed a smaller community hospital with no birthing unit.
So we were in a dead spot where I don't know what to do.
Danielle realizes she'll give birth in the car.
Get the baby now! Catch him! Catch him!
We're sending help over there. Stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
I got him.
The baby, okay, is the baby out?
Hi, baby.
This emergency is just beginning. It will be more than 11 minutes before medical responders arrive.
It's not breathing!
Yeah.
Okay,
He's having a hard time breathing.
listen to me. Gently wipe the baby's mouth and nose and then vigorously dry the baby with a clean, dry towel for at least 30 seconds.
A family on the side of the road with no towel, no blanket, no suction, and a baby struggling.
He's struggling to breathe. His lips are purple.
All right, I'm going to give you instructions on how to give mouth-to-mouth. Completely cover the baby's mouth and nose with your mouth, then blow 5 puffs of air into the lungs, about a half second each, just enough to make the chest rise with each breath. Go ahead and do that now.
If you're impressed with how clear and calm the directions are,
Okay, do it again. Yep.
that's because this emergency birth scenario has played out 3 times in 1 month for this dispatch unit.
Just enough to make the chest rise. Okay, did you feel the air going in and out?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's crying now.
She sounds so scared.
Dr. Emily Matheson is Danielle's doctor. Instead of delivering Frankie, she met him in the hospital.
Just to have someone tell you what to do over the phone, like, that's horrifying.
How dangerous is something like this when you're delivering on the side of the road and you have no supplies and this was not the plan?
Yeah. I worry about, a baby could get stuck, and sometimes will require maneuvers to be able to get delivered. Sometimes moms will bleed heavily after delivery, and that can require medications and other interventions.
Dr. Matheson has patients who live 90 minutes away. They live in maternity deserts. And even if there's a community hospital, there's no birthing unit.
We just knew he was blue.
Danielle is a nurse, but her specialty isn't labor and delivery.
But then he was gurgling because he had all that amniotic fluid. His face was smashed.
In the dark, Frankie's coloring was concerning. Turns out Frankie was bruised. That's because the delivery was so fast.
It's just emotional because, we're crying for help, hoping someone shows up to make sure everything's going to be okay. Sorry.
There was no blanket and no towel when Frankie was born. His dad wrapped him in a Chiefs sweatshirt.
Oh, goodness.
Riley wore it the day we met Frankie. And then Frankie and his family took it on the newborn photo shoot. Back to the highway where he was born. Quite a story down the road. Quite a lesson for now about moms in maternity deserts.
More than half of rural hospitals in the U.S. do not offer labor and delivery services. In 10 states, more than 2/3 do not. Dr. Robert Moser with the University of Kansas says the closures of these units started about 15 years ago, but accelerated in the last 5 to 6. He says smaller hospitals lose money on deliveries due to low reimbursement rates and the expense of maintaining blood banks or round-the-clock anesthesiology.
You're probably not breaking even unless you're delivering, 80 to 100 babies a year.
To address this growing crisis, some states are trying to find solutions. Connecticut allows freestanding birth centers to operate as an alternative for women with low-risk pregnancies. And in Iowa, lawmakers allocated more than $500,000 to maternal health services in rural and underserved communities.
What gives me hope is our healthcare system is always capable of innovating and finding new and creative ways to serve our communities.
To learn more about access to labor and delivery units in your state, head to InvestigateTV.com and search maternity care.
Still to come, a shift to help more women facing menopause get treatment tailored to their needs.
These symptoms can be quite debilitating for some women and really impact their ability to function.
The Medical Mythbuster explains how hormone therapy can be used for symptom relief.
But first, seeking safety and a fresh start, more people are leaving the U.S. for life abroad.
I had reached my breaking point. I was mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted.
We examine the sacrifices Americans make to move overseas and uncover why certain countries are more appealing than their homeland.
Help me, God. Congratulations.
The hope of a better life, opportunity, and the pursuit of happiness. It's the American dream. And every year, hundreds of thousands of people take the oath of allegiance, striving to make it a reality.
But some current citizens say that dream for them exists overseas. As of 2022, nearly 500,000 Social Security recipients were living outside the United States. And that's just a small percentage of the estimated 9 million U.S. citizens who live in other countries.
They're part of a growing number of Americans looking outside of our borders for a more affordable and peaceful way of life. The vibrant colors, beautiful mountain valleys, and the rich culture of Cuenca, Ecuador, a place former North Carolinian Stephen Varga has called home now for 4 years. At over 8,000 feet above sea level, it was an adjustment, but for the better.
I'm healthier now. I quickly lost 25 pounds when I moved down here. The food is so fresh. You're walking all the time.
Varga says from the cost of living and affordable medical care to the ease of travel, the benefits of living in Ecuador far outweigh those of living in the States.
Do you feel safe?
I guarantee you I feel safer here than in the United States. Every American I've talked to feels safer here.
Guns are heavily restricted in Ecuador. According to Jen Barnett, who runs the website expatsy.com, rising gun violence has led many Americans to take up residence in other countries.
So people who move to Europe often move to Europe because it is so much safer.
But it's not just crime driving people to relocate.
The biggest reason they want to move abroad, which I think is positive, is they want adventure and personal growth.
The expats we talk to say they've done their research and feel confident about their safety. But what they're really concerned about is finding a new sense of peace and harmony in their community. According to Barnett, wanting to escape division and political tension in the U.S. are drivers for those considering a move to another country. This includes racial tension. The website blacksitglobal.com chronicles the lives of Black expats scattered across the globe. Courtney Bowden is one of them. She left Atlanta to live in a place where she felt free from the constant threat of racism. Bowden and her husband ended up in Playa del Carmen, Mexico.
I had reached my breaking point. This was all on top of facing issues with some unfriendly neighbors in a predominantly white neighborhood. I was mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted.
Bowden works remotely and now shares the stories of other Black expats living across the globe.
Tisha, after we got here and after we settled in, nearly 3 years later, we found a place that we can call home. So we found freedom, healing, and belonging here.
And she's not alone.
62,000 Americans get their Social Security checks in Mexico.
Due to its proximity to the U.S., Mexico is one of the more popular places attracting Americans, along with English-speaking countries such as Canada and the U.K. Barnett says Panama, Costa Rica, Spain, France, Italy, and Portugal are getting some interest.
For example, a retiree can move to Portugal if they have about $900 a month in retirement income, which is unheard of here in the U.S., obviously.
But with having to navigate a system of visas and foreign residency laws, is the grass truly greener on the other side of the border?
Do I think the American dream is being challenged and potentially been dimmed in some cases? I do.
Louisiana Congressman Garrett Graves says he understands the attraction of wanting more bang for your buck and personally knows retirees who have moved, but he questions the safety and stability of other governments.
Mexico, you have major portions of the country that candidly the government doesn't control, that very violent cartels control them. And it used to just be in certain areas, but we've seen increasingly where that threat to safety and security is encroaching upon some of the most popular tourist destinations. And so there is a trade-off there.
But the expats we talk to feel like they're gaining more than just money by getting away, specifically peace of mind. Back in Ecuador, Varga still dreams of maybe moving to France one day. But for now, Cuenca has all that he truly needs.
So you are living the life.
You know what? I feel great about it right now. It's funny. I feel I'm happier than I've ever been.
A happiness that can only be found in a place that your heart feels is where you should be.
Ecuador's our home. It's our home, for sure.
The relocation process takes a lot of planning, and it could take years. Jen Barnett of expatsy.com recommends visiting the country you're thinking about moving to during the best weather and the worst. Learn the native language and consider renting before buying a home. Also connect with others using social media groups to learn more about what it's like to live in the country you're considering.
Coming up, helping women navigate life's natural transitions. The medical mythbuster breaks down how hormone therapy is used to manage symptoms or prevent more serious health conditions.
Hot flashes, mood swings, and achy joints, all symptoms of menopause. Women can manage it by boosting the hormones their bodies no longer make with a treatment once called hormone replacement therapy. But doctors say the term is evolving and replacing hormones doesn't apply to a majority of women.
In this Medical Mythbuster, reporter Viv Williams explains the difference in treatments.
Hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, for treatment of menopause symptoms is a term that's been around for a long time, but healthcare providers don't call it that anymore.
We call it hormone therapy, and the reason for that is we are not trying to replace what the ovary used to make. We're only trying to give enough estrogen to manage symptoms.
Dr. Stephanie Fabian is the director of the Center for Women's Health at Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. And she's the medical director of the North American Menopause Society, an organization dedicated to promoting women's health in midlife and beyond.
This concept of replacement really only applies to those women who go through menopause prematurely under the age of 40 or early between 40 and 45, where we really are trying to replace what they lost.
You see, Fabian says menopause is natural. Women are supposed to go through it. It is not a disease to be cured.
When we talk about hormone therapy at the normal age of menopause, so say for a woman in her 50s, we are not using hormone therapy to prevent any chronic disease. We are using it for symptom management.
But if a woman goes through menopause too early, the loss of estrogen is not considered normal. Fabian says in that case, replacing lost estrogen is important.
Because it's really a hormone deficiency syndrome there, and we are trying to prevent long-term adverse health consequences related to it, like heart effects, bone effects, and brain effects.
The U.S. Health and Human Services Office on Women's Health notes that about 5% of women go through early menopause, the causes of which vary and can include your genetics, some cancer treatments, and some autoimmune diseases. Most women don't experience early menopause, but the National Institutes of Health says of that group, 85% have some degree of menopause-related symptoms.
While these can be very mild symptoms or even not a problem for some women, these symptoms can be quite debilitating for some women and really impact their ability to function during the day, to carry on their relationships, to function at work.
Fabian says for women who struggle with menopause symptoms, hormone therapy can be up to 95% effective at managing them. She says forms of treatment include patches, sprays, gels, rings, and pills. With this Medical Mythbuster, I'm Viv Williams.
Up next, redefining what's possible.
All right, I can't tell. There we go.
How sailors from across the country are using sound instead of sight to captain a boat.
From feeling the sun on your skin to smelling the sea breeze and tasting the salty water, if you have ever been on a boat, you know it's a sensory experience.
And for centuries, captains have used sight to navigate, whether by stars or landscape. But for a group of sailors in New Orleans, they have to rely on sound.
Reporter Rob Messon explains how they're setting a course for a more inclusive future.
Watch yourself, all right? No, that's it. Perfect fit.
It's race day at Municipal Yacht Harbor.
You got an empty drum.
There are pulleys to check, lines to test, and rigging to install on these 20-foot racers at Community Sailing.
Keep on going. There you go. Perfect.
Municipal Yacht Harbor hosts dozens of racing regattas each year. But these crews face obstacles few sailors here have confronted.
Is there a boat around here?
Dwayne Farrar lost his sight in the mid-90s. He traveled from Boston to participate in one of the first blind sailing races ever held in the New Orleans area.
I didn't start sailing till I was already legally blind.
It seems like a tall order, having to sail a course marked by surfboard buoys, which sailors hear but can't see. That sound, coming from the buoys, serves as a guide in a sport where sailors often rely on sight, using compasses, GPS images, and charts, or to read the water to determine how to set the sails under various conditions.
The course that will be set up is 3 buoys. Each one makes a unique sound.
that will be turned on or off so the competitors can actually find the course without having a sighted guide direct them.
Condition today, windy. In fact, these sailors from Florida, Colorado, as well as Boston faced formidable obstacles.
All right, I can't tell. There we go.
These sailors rely on feel instead of sight as they set sails and rudder to slice through the choppy lake.
Man is yours, Chris.
As fast as they can coax their 20-foot sloops.
All right, we're gonna luff up.
They also rely on sound. This tone tells sailors they're on a starboard tack, a point of sailing where the wind comes from the right side of the boat, which generally indicates which boat has a right of way.
Okay, I hear them, but I can't tell where they are. Up above us, I think.
But the lake this day is far from ideal. The windy conditions washed out a lot of the sound from buoys and other boats, needed by these blind sailors to navigate and avoid collisions.
I don't hear any, so I don't know if they're on or not.
I don't know. We're going to try to get close and we'll see.
In spite of sight and sound obstacles, these blind sailors press on. Their focus to conquer the headwinds, technical glitches, and smooth out choppy waters.
I have the consor.
Much like they have to do every day on land.
All right, marks are off your starboard bow by like 5 degrees.
Blind sailors from across the country hope they help set a template for a program that dozens of blind New Orleanians can use in the future.
We do pretty well because we often beat all the sighted sailors.
By sharpening skills honed on Lake Pontchartrain by these blind sailors with a vision to help others while navigating a lake brimming with possibilities of exceeding expectations on and off the water.
You know, that just goes to show it doesn't matter what kind of obstacles you have in life. You can truly do anything.
You can definitely overcome any obstacle, and they show it. I mean, that's just incredible what they were pulling off. Rough waters, too.
Pretty choppy.
Yes,
yeah,
very
but
much.
they were making it happen. Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Pell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, questioning the independence of the NTSB.
Right now, there's no faith in the system.
Why the agency doesn't always respond to plane crashes in person, and how some argue it could impact the outcome of cases.